So on one end of the spectrum, you got major respected economists saying that we are heading into a recession. Some people say there's a 97% chance of recession coming along. On the other side of things, let's just cut interest rates and let billionaires make even more money because the market just goes up forever. And then you buy the market and then it drops because you don't know what you're doing. And you wonder why people say the market is a scam. At the same time, unemployment ticking up and Vegas just keeps pumping and building. And we know why that is. This is all the news that matters to you nationwide and Vegas. NLLV. I'll have to put a clever acronym on the screen. I'm not smart enough, so GPT will do it. Let's get on the news. 1, 2, 3, and action. And by the way, for the record, I'm at Caesars right now. This is this little area that they use for staging. Look at all the construction equipment. They're building a big day club. It's a continuation of Omnia. And I'd like to know where Caesars is getting their money from. Like, it's none of my darn business, but they were delisted off the S&P 500 not more than a week or two ago because guess what? They're not valuable enough. And these casino companies will come out and they'll spin the good news. Caesars' good news is always that we trimmed some of our excesses. You know what you don't know about Caesars? This will make your skin crawl. Check this out. What you don't know about Caesars is that about a year ago, the Bacchanal buffet, the $100 buffet, Caesars started downsizing so they could tell all of their investors that, yeah, we lost money because we're, in my opinion, I'm allowed to say it, a terribly run company that doesn't know how to make profits. But at the same time, we cut all this fat. And they took the Bacchanal buffet with some of the nicest 50 and 60-year-olds you'll ever meet who are just servers. And they said, okay, from now on in, we don't have any bussers, so you're going to have to clean all the plates and service all the tables. They basically managed them out. It's a way to fire people because of their age, because you're not firing them and they're just literally just resigning. How do I know this? I have little birds that tell me things. Little bird told me. They say this is what's happening in the culinary, this and that. And it's not going to stop. They're going to keep laying people off until 10 or 15 years from now when Elon Musk's robots are walking all over Vegas serving you and you're complaining not that you have a bad server, but that you have to tip a robot. Because trust me, that's coming too. Yeah, so speaking of like labor and reports and all that kind of stuff, the BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, it sounds so Orwellian. They've delayed a major report that says basically what consumer expenditures are. So like how much are people spending on stuff? And they're delaying that. And they don't want people to know until it's just right. I guess they're like probably sick of revisions. Is that what it is? Or is it possible that they're just, I don't want to say they're cooking the books. I would like to have faith in the government. Hey, what's up?
Watch your stuff. The driver told me, my way from the airport, he said, this time last year, he made double. And he said they let off like 250 people from one of these casinos. I told them one day, they all got no job.
We just got an insider take right there. You don't want to be on camera. He said, 250 people laid off, according to the taxi driver that used to get paid double for being out here in Vegas. Speaking of jobs reports, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. I got to imagine, though, that they're trying to save face at this point and trying to get the labor and all those statistics right. But the problem is those affect the markets, and they say the wrong thing, and then boom, the market goes down, and then the overlords that pay all the bills of all the political parties equally because they donate to both sides, they're not happy, and they want to keep those billionaires happy. Are you happy? See, the main problem with those types of numbers and not releasing them, if they were good numbers, they would just release them because those are numbers that tell us about inflation, okay? So the Bureau of Labor Statistics consumer expenditures tell us if people are paying more for stuff. Put it in the comments below. Are you paying more for stuff? How's your food bill lately? How's your household? Are you paying more for power? Tell me in the comments. But if everything is under control, then they shouldn't be delaying those numbers, right? Like, that's no reason to delay the number. I don't know. What do I know, right? Just a guy with a spatula, because if I hold my mic in my hand, you guys, some of you complain to me. So this is my protest. Purple spatula. So, of course, last week, the feds cut interest rates, and a lot of people are sitting here waiting for the housing to get better. They're waiting for the mortgages to drop, and I've been telling you guys that stuff more attached, all the mortgage rates and your car loans and your credit card interest rates, those are more attached to the bond market, the 10-year and I think it's the 2-year. Those markets for bonds are going up and up and up. I could sit here and explain it to you guys, but the markets are pumping and they're forever pumping. The Federal Reserve finally lowered interest rates. Trump is happy, I guess, but at the same time, people are now expecting the prices of homes to go down, like the borrowing on the housing. That's what's really preventing people from buying and selling. Vegas has a major problem right now with foreclosure notices going out. I mean, the market pumped. Look at this chart. Did you make money off this? If you have a 401k, you probably did. Did you trade this stuff? I traded it. I made some money. But if you didn't get into this action right here, it doesn't mean anything to you because your mortgage rate's probably not going down. Why? Because that stuff seems to be tied to 10-year yields. Yeah, the last time under Biden when we lowered the rates, nothing happened and your home mortgages actually went up last time. Go look into it. It's true. It's true. And, I traded last week. I actually trade the markets every day. I trade futures markets. And to me, it's like a video game. It's fun. We make money when it goes up. We make money if it goes down. And we do it all within 20 or 30 minutes most days. So I go in, I get out, I pay some bills. If you guys could pay some bills, if you had the potential to learn a skill, would that be life-changing if you could learn that skill? I think so. And if you guys want to learn, I have a course. I opened up 10 more spots. I asked my platform. We sold out last Wednesday. We sold out our coupons on Friday live stream. We sold them out on Saturday again, but I can get you in for less than the cost of a pair of AirPods Pro 3s, a lot less. So go to 1kaday.diy because I don't tell you when to trade. It's not a live thing. It's video on demand. You're going to learn the skills. You're going to do the thing. You'll get all the videos that are posted so far. We're posting a new video every single day. That's why it's 90% off on there right now for $199. 1kaday.diy, and you got to put the code 2 in there. 2 as in 2, not V for victory, it's the number 2. All right, so go and do the course if you guys want to learn this stuff and be smarter than 90% of your friends. Speaking of 90%, there are some economists telling us there is a 90% chance of a recession in the next year. Right, because we got the Washington Post right now reporting that we are in store for a long-term unemployment surge. Like, it's just going to be unemployment ramping up over and over, which maybe that's why the government, the administration wants to make sure the numbers are good before they release them because they're tired of the revisions. But we got a guy named Mark Zandi who's with Moody's Analytics. That's one of those big hoity-toity companies that you probably are paywalled and you can't see this stuff. But he's saying that there's like a 48% chance of a major recession happening just based on stuff like building permits and the fact that people can't pay their housing bill anymore. Housing is out of control. It's a major problem. So when he says stuff like that, the buttholes get clenched on Wall Street. But there's free money because they cut interest rates. Again, did you get in on it? Probably not. Yeah, but nobody can afford to pay their bills, apparently. I don't know if you've seen this. I sound like Jay Leno. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? Trending on Google right now. Help paying my mortgage. Yeah, so Google has this feature called Google Trends, and you can go type in a trend and see if it's trending and see what the interest is over time. And right now, one thing that's trending upwards is help paying my mortgage. Big time. What does that mean? That means that people can't afford to pay their bills. And by the way, I always worry about getting killed by a car. I love these cool shots. If you're 1% smarter, give us a subscription. Come back to the channel. We do economics and news and updates with a Vegas twist. Because there's two things at play right now. Number one, there's 15 million vacant homes across the country, but that doesn't mean that they're homes that anybody can actually live in. A vacant home is just something that's vacant at the time that they do the survey. So 15 million homes. I'm so glad we don't have the wrong party in office because in Canada, actually, the Liberal Party at one point suggested forcing people to give up their Airbnbs and their investment properties to house people. Nobody suggested that here. You would think 15 million homes, well, that should be no problem, but think about it this way, right? I'm going to do an in-depth video on the housing market on Wednesday here on this channel for Vegas and tell you guys how bad it is out here because we have major issues. But if people can't afford to pay their existing mortgage, people who have their house are refusing to sell it because they don't want to invest in a new mortgage because they have a low mortgage price. That means the housing market is at an absolute log jam, and those transactions are not happening. And we got some major foreclosures happening here in Nevada and in other states. So subscribe. I'll talk about that on Wednesday on an in-depth deep dive on the housing markets. And meanwhile, the feds, they're just printing money, $36 trillion or something like that. So the feds keep printing money. Somewhere Elon Musk is in a corner just taking shots. But yeah, I mean, there's no cuts to the government right now. They're literally going to crank the bond market They don't do it. Well, the bond market acts on its own. I just covered in my course, the course I talked about that you guys can get in on for cheap right now. But the bond market, the yields are going to go up to compete with this low interest rates to try to bring in investors. At the same time, they're going to keep printing money by offering these lucrative 10-year and 2-year bond yields, which will just give the government more means to just keep spending recklessly. Meanwhile, it's like our whole economy rests on just 7 companies on the NASDAQ exchange. Right, because those 7 companies, they're known collectively and colloquially in the trading world as the Magnificent Seven. And it's like a 7-headed hydra that has got NVIDIA on the top. See, they make the AI chips that power the AI that all of these other 6 companies tell you is the wave of the future. It's a wave of the future. But at the same time, look at the chart. Look at what happened back in January of this year when Chinese company DeepSeek came out and said, yeah, we duct taped a bunch of Atari 2600s together and made a better AI without NVIDIA. It sold off our markets. That's how things are. And consumers seem like they're tapped out right now because things are actually flatlining worse than you think. Here's the real deal on consumer spending and what people are really doing with their money. Because the regular folks, they ain't coming here. I'm telling you, this is not the regular time of the year for anybody. So the reality is that retail sales have kind of flattened and credit card delinquencies are at an all-time high. And coming up later on this year, buy now, pay later, which is a unique concept that used to be known as layaway, except for this time, we're just going to let you walk out of the store with your products. Don't worry, somebody else will pay for it. Yeah, those weren't reported to the credit reporting agencies. And coming up in the next few months, if you guys had late payments, it's going to go on your FICO score. And those credit scores are going to drop. And even if you pay that stuff off, it seems like credit is a trap where if you don't get more debt to carry on your back, then you can't keep your credit score up. How many of you guys have ever paid like a car payment off entirely and saw a 50 to 100 point drop on your credit score? So it's almost like the system is rigged against you. But the good news is Vegas has some deals going on, but it's not for you. It's actually for everybody that's not you and people like me, which means we might be nearing desperation mode. So Caesars Entertainment is offering 25% off for food and beverage to locals and free parking. But that's actually the last thing, the free parking thing, they're really cooking that up because Caesars has offered free parking for locals forever. You just show your driver's license. But it's not for you, which isn't that weird? Don't you think that if they wanted to really attract people, they would be targeting you, not me? And you got to hang out with a guy like me, and trust me, nobody wants to hang out with me. I am an Asperger's kid. I just go on and on about stuff, and I'll bore you with stock markets and data and things that you don't care about. So if you're a local, great, come down and do a staycation, and they'll even give you 15% off rooms for staycations if you take that before like March of 2026. Now, this deal runs through September 23rd through October, but it's weird that they haven't done it for like the tourists. You'd think that's where they would go, but Caesars, look at this chart on Caesars Entertainment. They're the only company that hasn't recovered post-COVID in terms of all of these Vegas companies. And they're the ones that had the biggest to gain. And we'll do a story on Caesars, so subscribe to the channel. We'll talk more about them in the future. I mean, like, look, Caesars may be the only one that does that. I explained before, Caesars not in a good place right now. And will other companies follow suit on Caesars' lead? I don't think so, really, because at the same time, I mean, just look at the chart for Caesars. This is not a healthy chart. You don't want to see your equity going down like that over time. And that's why I keep telling you, I don't give you advice on what to trade, but I personally probably not going to buy and invest in a company that goes down over time. That's why I do the course. If you want to know how to read the charts, at least do the course. You may never trade, but you'll get a heck of an education. But if you want to trade and make a little bits and bobs of money on companies like Caesars, 1kaday.diy, code number 2, I got 10 spots. Cost you less than the price of a dinner on the strip, and you'll know 90% more than your friends. Caesars not doing well, everybody else doing great, keeping their prices high. What does it all mean for you? I mean, what it means for you in terms of Vegas and the economy at whole is that the economy right now is a very rich man's game, a rich man and rich woman's game. You know, the people that are selling out the iPhones. I got the iPhone. It was sold out. There was a lineup in front of the Apple Store for this thing. The people who are buying this stuff are the ones snapping up everything. And Vegas is just following suit. We're going to do a video kind of blowing the top on this with some insider information some little birdies told me about why is it the casinos can continue to post record profits on their gaming. Meanwhile, the room occupancy is way down and the RevPAR is struggling. That won't be this week. That'll be next week. But subscribe and we talk about the stuff on our live streams. And that's it. I tell you guys all the time, learn a skill. I learned to trade. You can learn to trade if you want to use the code. It's in the first comment. You get the whole thing, and you can potentially make some money there. But learn something. Learn AI. Start a business. Do something for yourself, because either you're going to join the rich people or you're going to be one of the people who are left behind wondering where your job went. But hey, we'll do a video on Wednesday talking about some new stuff. We're going to explore on Wednesday what's really going on right now with the housing market in Vegas. Well, until we meet again, my name is Steven. I'm not leaving Las Vegas. This is the purple spatula microphone of freedom. And now is the time I say 3, 2, 1, click. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, and click!